Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fighter's Anthology as we continue with the single aircraft, single, yeah, quick mission aircraft showcases, whatever it is I'm doing. So we're actually getting close to the end because I was going through the list and saw it looks like there's only two I haven't done, which actually I'm kind of grateful I didn't do them, even though I thought I did both of them earlier on. Um, but the I have to double check. One of them for sure might have done in the one of the ATF campaigns, but the other is the Super Étendard, which I do not. Well, it was the subject of maybe one mission. I'm not sure I gave much of a lowdown on it. So we're going to be doing the Super Étendard today. Technically, I can make it 3 aircraft because I don't think I technically did a showcase on the Raphael M, but it's so close to the Raphael C that I don't think it's worth it. Hey, look at the other aircraft, the X-31 that, there's not a, or sorry, I think I did one on the X-31. I gotta double check that, but, for sure the X-29 doesn't have a dedicated video, although ATF might have made us play a mission, that made us do that. That would be a really short one. But today we are doing the Super Étendard. So, Persian Gulf. So what we're going to simulate today is we're going to do a mission out of the Iran-Iraq War. So we are going to fly a 4-ship formation of the Super Étendard, escorted by 2 3-ship formations of MiG-23s and Mirage F-1s. We'll be at 10,000 feet, 10 miles from enemy forces. Our ground target is going to be 4 ships in the Gulf. Well, let's do warships in the Gulf. We'll see what they choose for that. I was actually hoping for some shipping targets, merchant shipping, since that's to kind of simulate the tanker wars. But this is close enough. Our enemy will be 2-ship formation of. You know what? Let's say a 4-ship formation of F-5E Desert Tigers and a 2-ship formation of they probably have the what variant did we sell them? We probably sold them the F4, yeah, because it was close to 79, so probably the F4E, unfortunately. So with that, we can now choose our loadout. 350-gallon tank. On our wing, we will be taking the Exocet cruise missile. We can take up to 3, I think. Nope, it won't let us use the hardpoint. And then secondary armament is a pair of Magic missiles for self-defense. I don't think there's any more advanced version of that. Yeah, just the magic missile. So we'll take a full fuel load. And with that, let's begin. Alright, so now we can begin our mission. We'll task our wingmen onto the enemy ships. Well, even though we're going to be at a huge advantage going into this dogfight with 2 giant cruise missiles and a giant fuel tank underneath our belly, we should be able to do a little more to help out than our wingmen can. As we can see, it looks like the F-5s are breaking off to attack our wingmen, while the F-4s are breaking off to deal with our escort. And it looks like this guy wants to play. Alright, let's make sure we have a clear shot. And that's a miss. Alright, this is a little bit of a long shot. It looks like we got a lock though. Boom, destroyed. Alright. Not bad, not bad. Very powerful missile. So let's turn it around and, alright, let's throw on our jammers. And we'll see who else we can acquire. Looks like we've got Yolinka. Looks like we got an F5 trying to dogfight us, and we shouldn't be getting into a turning fight with him, but it looks like he's decided to break off and attack someone else. Or no, he's got someone on his tail, that's what it is. Alright, but now we should be able to get inside of his turn here. Oh, we got a few hits. Enough that MiG-23 is doing some work there. There we go. I think at this point we can leave it to...
Disengage.
Alright. We're going to have them disengage. And we're going to... Look at that giant-ass cruise missile. But that's why... yeah, we should be a lot more maneuverable now. I think each of those was like 1,200 pounds. Fuel is not a concern. But yeah, these are big babies for that small aircraft. But I can see a lot of these ships aren't mission objectives, so I just want my wingmen to focus on the objectives, so I don't have to cheat. Alright. Meanwhile, we can do a crazy Ivan here and clear our tail. Oh god, they're gonna waste all their missiles on it, aren't they? It looks like our escort is shooting down the last of the enemy interception force. And it sounds like they got him. My radar can't discriminate, but they're all searching now. So that's a good sign. Let's just swing around here.
Attack ship, your 5 o'clock flow.
There we go. Is that the only one? It's a rather large fleet with a very limited set of objectives, which is why I'm confused. Well, we can make some gun runs at least to help them out and draw anti-aircraft fire away from them. Which it seems like that's what they're doing as well. Alright, throw our jammers back on here. And hopefully our gun does some damage. Too bad we can't actually just like drop our fuel tank onto them as like an improvised bomb. God damn it. So many wasted shots because the hitboxes in this game are bullshit. Yeah, they're all doing gun runs. Because they wasted them on it. You'd think the AI would prioritize, you know, like if you tell it to attack a class, you think it would prioritize members of that class that, that are labeled a mission objective. But I suppose we shall see, we'll see if we can knock it out with our guns. If not, I'll cheat and mid-air reload and kill it. Because I didn't want them to attack it specifically, just because the AI has a penchant for firing all their missiles at once, and I wasn't sure how many hits this would take. So I didn't want them to fire, you know, what would essentially be 3 missiles into this thing if I already fired 2. And then have it, you know, have them waste their missiles, but Alright, so he's focused on us. So our wingman... Oh, he is really shitty aim, too, for being experienced. Look at that. It's probably, what, 37mm or 57mm cannon fire? Something like that. Maybe 40mm. I like how he's still focused on us, even though... But, I mean, this is a real tactic, too, that they use mostly in World War II. But, when aircraft were attacking ships, sometimes if they ran dry, they would continue to pretend to do strafing runs. Most notably in the battle off Samar, when aircraft weren't really prepared at all for the fight. They would basically fake doing strafing runs on a target to draw anti-aircraft fire away from any planes that might have still had weapons on them. And they would have, it also would occasionally cause the anti-aircraft crews to duck for cover, because they don't want to get hit by a hail of 50 caliber or 20mm bullets, so which would give opportunities for other aircraft to attack the ship. So, but I'm getting a little tired of this. We'll I don't know if they'll work this close. I don't think they would work that close in real life. There we go. Oh my god, that wasn't the Oh, there's one more. So I was right, there were two. Hopefully we can do a little more damage this time. And there are cargo ships here, which is great, but I didn't expect these corvettes to take such a beating either. I mean, famously, what was it, 1 or 2 Exocet missiles almost destroyed the Stark. And how many British... I mean, wasn't there one British vessel that got hit by one and sunk? By one that didn't even explode? I can't quite remember. Maybe it was one that exploded and one didn't, but still. The Exocet is a very potent anti-ship weapon. So, that these ships can stand up to that is really something. There we go. Wow, we do not have a lot of health. This guy's at least a better gunner than his buddy. Ow. Come on, guys. Give me a little help here. Oh, hey, look. He has missiles left. Alright. Let's keep strafing him. I don't know if I don't think I'll be able to finish him off. But my hope is... Wow, he is... he is airing us a new one. Problem is, I don't know if any of my wingmen have weapons left either. And judging by the way they're flying around, I'd say they don't. So, alright. Time to make up for my mistake here. But yeah, you can see how... Actually, I kind of like this, refilling my ammo midair like this, because you can see instantly how badly our turn rate is affected by, having 2 of these missiles slung over us. As we're actually fairly maneuverable without them, but now that we have a pair of missiles on us, we're not doing so well. Alright. Oh, come on. I know. I saw a tanker, or not a tanker, but like a cargo ship. You know what? The Olenka's probably are tankers, right? Yeah. We'll see if we can knock one of these guys out then. Get a little bit of our tanker war game on. Did more damage than to the Corvettes, but I don't know if woo. Okay, I just wanted to check if refilling our ammo also refueled our drop tanks, and it appears they don't. Nice if you're like, I'm only thinking of it now, but it'd be nice if oh, they do have ammo left, go figure. But it'd be nice if your wingman like told you if they were out of ammo. It would certainly be of use on a lot of missions, actually. Like, you know, when you're like in the Ukraine campaign, when it's just you and your wingman and you gotta destroy like 8 bombers and 6 of their fighter escorts. You know, and you gotta really carefully manage you know, who's shooting at what and from what distance and all that. Yeah, you can see we're so much more maneuverable now than when we were hauling those huge ass missiles. Oh man, that is pretty great. No, 3 of my bolts got wasted. No. I don't know if my wingman can do. If they can do one more attack run on it, a good one. They can't do a good attack run. For the other one, I mean, we did another 25% damage or so, but unfortunately, our wingmen just can't. They cannot just sustain the accurate fire that we can, even on a stationary or mostly stationary ground target. Like, come on, guys. It should be like hitting the broadside of a barn here. They're even shooting back at us. Oh, set my throttle too low. Well, I think that's all we're going to be able to do here. So we are... Oh, we actually, we can't... The Persian Gulf doesn't have, Yeah, they're just following me at this point. Persian Gulf doesn't apparently have, Alright, we're just gonna throw those into the water. We're, completely empty now. And we're just gonna land at the nearby airbase, so let's... Oh, jammer's back on, boys! Alright. There we go. Flying right over one of those Saranchas. But they have a pretty limited range, so I'm not too worried. We should be out of there, even though the radar guided, but... Ow! Okay, they got a pretty good anti-aircraft range. I like how their anti-aircraft guns apparently have as much range or more range than their radar-guided missile. That slightly amuses me. Alright. We should be good. We're going to have to be careful on our landing, but otherwise we should be good. So, now that we've completed our mission, destroyed 2 Iranian warships and a number of Iranian tankers, and fast attack aircraft, we can now talk about the Dassault-Breguet Super Étendard. The Super Étendard is a development of the earlier Étendard 4M, which had been developed in the 1950s. Étendard, by the way, is French for battle standard. Like a flag, battle flag or something. The Étendard 4M was originally to have been replaced by a navalized version of the Sepulkat Jaguar, designated as the Jaguar M. However, the Jaguar M project was stalled by a combination of political problems and issues experienced during trial deployments on board carriers. Specifically, the Jaguar M had suffered handling problems when being flown on a single engine and a poor throttle response time that made landing back on a carrier after an engine failure difficult. In 1973, all development work on the Jaguar M was formally cancelled by the French government. There were several proposed aircraft to replace the Jaguar M, including the LTV A-7 Corsair II and the Douglas A-4 Skyhawk. Dassault pulled some strings with the French government and produced its own proposal to meet the requirement. According to Bill Gunston and Peter Gilchrist, Dassault had played a significant role in the cancellation of the Jaguar M, with the aim of creating a vacancy for their own proposal, the Super Étendard. The Super Étendard was essentially an improved version of the existing Étendard 4M, outfitted with a more powerful engine, a new wing, and improved avionics. Dassault sold its plane as the only fully French-made candidate, and as cheaper than the other contestants, using modern technology already proven in existing Dassault planes. Dassault's Super Étendard proposal was accepted by the French Navy in 1973, leading to a series of prototypes being quickly assembled. The first of 3 prototypes to be built, an Étendard 4M, which had been modified with the new engine and some of the new avionics, made its maiden flight on the 28th of October 1974. The original intention of the French Navy was to order a total of 100 Super Étendards, however the order placed was for 60 of the new model, with options for a further 20. Further budget cuts and an escalation in the aircraft's per unit price eventually led to only 71 Super Étendards being purchased. Dassault began making deliveries of the type to the French Navy in 1978. In June of 1978 specifically. We're not the most maneuverable plane, but we're a lot more maneuverable than than when we had all that ordnance on us. And now we're very clean too. We have 3,000 pounds of fuel, and that's about it. In the first year of production, 15 Super Étendards were produced for the French Navy, allowing the formation of the first squadron in 1979. Dassault produced the aircraft at a rough rate of 2 per month. The Argentine Navy was the only export customer. Argentina placed an order for 14 aircraft to meet their requirements for a capable new fighter that could operate from their sole aircraft carrier. In 1983, all manufacturing activity was completed, the last delivery to the French Navy taking place that year. That's not quite true, because Iraq did use the Super Étendard, but I think technically they were leased instead of bought or something like that. I don't know, the article will probably get further into it. Alright. And you can see we even have a hook because we're a naval aircraft. But, yeah. I could have done... It was either this or I would have made a mission in the, whatchamacallit, the Pro Mission Editor, where we would have flown from a French carrier battle group, but I ended up doing this instead. Alright.
Wind at 7 knots.
We gotta be very gentle touching down, because as you can see, we have massive amounts of damage to our airframe. You know what, let's put the hook down for shits and giggles. Oh, do we have enough damage for them to be like, clear the deck? That was something I actually missed, returning to a carrier mission after you've taken severe damage, and they're like, clear the deck, clear the deck. Alright.
Welcome home.
We managed to do it without killing ourselves. Alright, let's throw the brake on before we have a tire blow up here. And we'll just taxi off the runway here. And let's find us some good parking. But as you can see, very controllable on landing, which is expected for an aircraft that has to land in the short confines of a carrier deck. The Super Étendard is a small single-engine mid-winged aircraft with an all-metal structure. Both the wings and tailplane are swept, with the folding wings having a sweep back of about 45 degrees, while the aircraft is powered by a non-afterburning SNECMA Atar 8K-50 turbojet with a rating of 49 kilonewtons. Its performance was not much better than the Étendard 4, but its avionics were significantly improved. The main new weapon of the Super Étendard was the French anti-shipping missile, the aerospatial AM-39 Exocet. The aircraft had a Thompson CSF Agave radar, which amongst other functions was essential to launch the Exocet missile. One of the major technical advances of the Super Étendard was its onboard UAT-40 central computer. This managed most mission-critical systems, integrating navigational data and functions, radar information and display, and weapons targeting and controls. In the 1990s, significant modifications and upgrades were made to the type, including an updated UAT-90 computer and a new Thompson CSF Anemone radar, which provided nearly double the range of the previous Agave radar. Other upgrades at this time included an extensively redesigned cockpit with HOTAS controls, and airframe life extension work was undertaken. A total of 48 aircraft received these upgrades at a rate of 15 per year. During the 2000s, further improvements included significantly improved self-defense ECM capability to better evade enemy detection and attacks. And it sounds like we got... Oh, I guess that... Alright. I think we're hearing, Oh, wait, because I revved my engine up, so we're hearing that and our wingman landing. Alright. Cockpit compatibility with night vision goggles, a new inertial data system partly integrating GPS, and compatibility with the Damocles laser designator pod. Ooh, so many options. Where do we want to park ourselves? Next to the fuel. The Super Étendard could also deploy tactical nuclear weapons. Initially, these were unguided gravity bombs only. However, during the 1990s, the Super Étendard was extensively upgraded, enabling deployment of the Airsoft Moyenne Poitiers, a ramjet-powered air-launched nuclear missile. Oh. Alright, let's get a little... Come on. Come on. Oh, is that enough? What are we at? 20% throttle. Okay, we are starting to slowly crawl, but we don't have enough speed to turn. Come on. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Wow, our wingman's drop tanks lasted a long time. And then we can see over there, even got a little guy with a Stinger missile, probably. Since this is supposed to be an allied airport, even though the UAE would probably use Russian man pads, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Anyways. The aircraft was also refitted with the ability to operate a range of laser-guided bombs and to enable the type to replace the retiring Étendard 4 in the reconnaissance mission. The Super Étendard was fitted to carry a specialist reconnaissance pod as well. However, the aircraft is unable to perform naval landings without jettisoning unexpended ordnance. The Argentine Naval Aviation decided to buy 14 Super Étendards in 1979 after the United States put an arms embargo in place due to the Dirty War and refused to supply spare parts for Argentina's fleet of A4Q Skyhawks. Between August and November 1981, 5 Super Étendards and 5 anti-ship sea-skimming Exocet missiles were shipped to Argentina. Super Étendards, armed with Exocet anti-ship missiles, played a key role in the Falklands War between Argentina and the United Kingdom in 1982. The 2nd Naval Squadron was stationed at the Rio Grande Tierra del Fuego Naval Air Base during the conflict. The threat posed to British naval forces led to the planning of Operation Mikado and other proposed infiltration missions to raid the air base, aiming to destroy the Super Étendards to prevent their use. A total of 4 Super Étendards were operational during the conflict. The first attempt to attack the British fleet was made on the 2nd of May 1982. This was abandoned due to an in-flight refueling problem. On the 4th of May, two Super Étendards, guided by a Lockheed P-2H Neptune, each launched one Exocet at the British destroyer HMS Sheffield, with one missile crippling Sheffield. On the 25th of May, another attack by 2 Super Étendards resulted in 2 missiles hitting the merchant ship Atlantic Conveyor, which was carrying several helicopters and other supplies to the front line. The Exocets that struck Atlantic Conveyor had been inadvertently redirected by a decoy shaft deployed as a defensive measure by other ships. Both Sheffield and Atlantic Conveyor sank whilst under tow some days later following these Exocet strikes. On May 30th, 2 Super Étendards, one carrying Argentina's last remaining Exocet, escorted by 4 A4C Skyhawks, each with 2 500-pound bombs, took off to attack the aircraft carrier HMS Invincible. The missile was shot down by a sea dart fired by HMS Exeter. Following the end of the conflict by 1984, Argentina had received all 14 Super Étendards ordered and Exocets with which to arm them. Super Étendards performed qualifications on the aircraft carrier Ara 25th de Mayo until the ship's final retirement. The ARA 25 de Mayo, which is, I believe, Spanish for 25th of May. Since 1993, Argentine pilots have practiced on board the neighboring Brazilian Navy's aircraft carrier Sao Paulo. Touch-and-go landing exercises were also common on U.S. Navy carriers during Gringo Gaucho maneuvers and joint exercises. In 2009, an agreement was signed between Argentina and France to upgrade Argentina's remaining fleet of Super Étendards. An earlier proposal to acquire former French naval Super Étendards was rejected due to the high levels of accumulated flight hours. Instead, equipment and hardware would be removed from retiring French airframes and installed into Argentine aircraft, effectively upgrading them to the Super Étendard Modernise standard. In March 2014, while the Argentine Navy continued to seek the upgrade kits for 10 of its 11 remaining Super Étendards. This ambition appears to have been complicated by several factors. France has been non-committal regarding the sought sale. Critically, political developments between France and the UK may potentially allow the UK to obstruct the supply of military equipment to Argentina, such as the upgrade kits and the Exocet missile. In 2017, 5 Super Étendard Modernise were purchased from France to bolster the fleet at a cost of €12.5 million, along with a simulator, 8 spare engines, and a large batch of spares and tooling. However, while these aircraft were delivered in 2019, as of 2020, they still await the delivery of key spare parts and may not be in operational service for a further 2 years. In 2021, it was reported that the aircraft also remained non-operational due to problems obtaining components for the Martin Baker ejection seats manufactured in the UK. As a result, alternative parts were being sought in the United States. In early 2022, it was reported that the spare parts problem remained unresolved and the aircraft remained in storage. That sounds like a waste of money then. Deliveries of the Super Étendard to the French Navy started in 1978, with the first squadron, Flotilla 11F, becoming operational in February of 1979. As they offered no air combat capabilities, France had to extend the useful life of its Crusader fighters, as no replacement option was found. In total, 3 operational squadrons and a training unit were equipped with the Super Étendard. The Super Étendards would operate from both of France's aircraft carriers at that time, Clemenceau and Foch. Either carrier's air wing typically comprised 6 Super Étendards, 10 FA Crusaders, 3 Étendard 4Ps, and 7 Breguet Elise anti-submarine aircraft, as well as numerous helicopters. The first fighting operational missions took place in Lebanon during Operation Oliphant on the 22nd of September 1983. French Navy superintendents operating from Folk bombed and destroyed Syrian forces' positions after a few artillery rounds were fired at French peacekeepers. Hey, he's staying parked for once. That's nice. On November 10th, a superintendent escaped from being hit by a Syrian SA-7 shoulder-launched missile near Borj el Baradnid while flying over Druze positions. On the 17th of November 1983, the same airplanes attacked and destroyed an Islamic Amal training camp in Baalbek after a terrorist attack on French paratroopers in Beirut. From 1991, the original Pier attack Attendard 4Ms were withdrawn from French service, while the reconnaissance version of the Attendard 4, the 4P, remained in service until July of 2000. In response, the superintendents underwent a series of upgrades throughout the 1990s to add new capabilities and update existing systems for use in the modern battlefield. Designated Superintendent Mother Denise, the first combat missions for the type came during NATO's Allied force operations over Serbia in 1999, flying 400 combat missions. The SAM also flew strike missions in Operation Enduring Freedom. Mission Heracles, starting in 21st November 2001, saw the deployment of the aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle and its superintendents in Afghanistan. Operation Anaconda, starting on the 2nd of March 2002, saw extensive use of the superintendent in support of French and Allied ground troops. Super Étendards returned to operations over Afghanistan in 2004, 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2010 and 2011. One of their main roles was to carry laser designation pods to illuminate targets for Dassault Rafales. In March of 2011, Étendards were deployed as part of Task Force 473 during France's Operation Harmattan in support of UN Resolution 1973 during the Libyan conflict. They were paired again with Dassault Rafales on interdiction missions. The final superintendents in French naval aviation were in one flotilla called Flotilla 17F. All superintendents were retired from French service on the 12th of July 2016 to be replaced with the Dassault Rafale M, 42 years after the subsonic attack jet performed its first flight. Superintendent's last operational deployment from Charles de Gaulle was in support of Operation Camel against Islamic State militants in Iraq and Syria, which began in late 2015. On the 16th of March 2016, the aircraft undertook its final launch from Charles de Gaulle ahead of its final withdrawal from service in July. A total of 5 superintendents were loaned to Iraq in 1983, while the country was waiting for deliveries of the Agave-equipped Dassault Mirage F-1s capable of launching Exocet missiles that had been ordered. The first of these aircraft arrived in Iraq on the 8th of October 1983. The provision of superintendents to Iraq was politically controversial. The United States and Iraq's neighbor Iran were vocal in their opposition, while Saudi Arabia supported the loan. The aircraft were seen as an influential factor in the 1980-1988 Iraq-Iran war, as they could launch Exocet strikes on Iranian merchant shipping traversing the Persian Gulf. Superintendents began maritime operations over Persian Gulf in March 1984. A total of 34 attacks were carried out on Iranian shipping through the rest of 1984. Tankers of any nationality that were carrying Iranian crude oil were also subject to Iraqi attacks. Iraq typically deployed the superintendents in pairs, escorted by Mirage F-1 fighters from bases in southern Iraq. Once inside the mission zone, the superintendents would search for targets using their onboard radar and engage suspected tankers at long range without visual identification. While tankers would typically be struck by a launched Exocet, they were often only lightly damaged. On the 2nd of April 1984, an Iraqi superintendent was reportedly shot down by an AIM-7E2 missile fired by an Iranian F-4 Phantom II, piloted by Khosrow Adibi over Karg Island. Separately, on the 26th of July and 7th of August 1984, claims of superintendent losses to Iranian Grumman F-14 Tomcats were reported. Iran claimed a total of 3 superintendents who had been shot down by Iranian interceptors. France stated that 4 of the 5 leased aircraft were returned to France in 1985. Alright, so I guess the Mirage F-1 must have been the one that launched the attack on Stark. For some reason I thought it was a superintendent. I guess it's just because they both carry the Exocet, but because of the Falklands War, I associate the Exocet missile more with the superintendent than the Mirage F-1. So, as we discussed, Argentina, France, and Iraq were the operators as far as general specifications go. Let's see. Our wingmen are taking a long time. I see one. Oh, I wonder if they're cycling. That could be. They're all on the ground at least now. I guess I'll fast. He's just running around in circles. I guess they weren't taxiing fast enough or something. I don't know. Anyways, crew of 1, length of 14.31 meters, wingspan 9.6 meters, height of 3.86 meters. Wing area 28.4 meters squared. Empty weight of 6,500 kilograms. Max takeoff weight 12,000 kilograms. Power plant is one Snecma ATAR 8K-50 turbojet with 49 kilonewtons thrust. Maximum speed is 1,205 kilometers per hour or 651 knots. The range is 1,820 kilometers or 980 nautical miles. Combat range is 850 kilometers or 460 nautical miles, with one AIM-39 Exocet missile on one wing pylon and one drop tank on opposite pylon in high-low-high profile. Service ceiling is 13,700 meters, rate of climb 100 meters per second. Wing loading of 423 kilograms per meter squared, and a thrust-to-weight ratio of 0.42. Armament includes two 30mm depth of 552 cannons with 125 rounds per gun. Curiously, I think here it simulated only a single cannon with 125 rounds. Hardpoints include 4 underwing and 2 under fuselage with a maximum capacity of 2,100 kilograms maximum. Rocket, it can carry Matra rocket pods with 18 SNEB 68mm rockets each, and it can also carry Exocet missiles or an Aerosol Moyoni Porte nuclear arm missile, or Matra Magic air missiles. Bombs include conventional guided laser guided bombs with provision for one AN-52 freefall nuclear bomb and provision for a buddy air refueling pod. Alright, so that is it for today. Next time we'll be probably covering the Grumman X-29, but until then, thank you all for watching and stay tuned for next time and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.